All right, we'll get going. The first one, you posted your best finish of the season, seventh on Sunday at Pocono, and you've been trending around the top 10 the last few races. Is the car getting to where you want
Oh yeah, I think we're getting closer to where we want to be. I think we're consistently kind of in that 7th to 10th range. So we've made improvements in that aspect, but continue to have to work harder to get closer towards the front. So I think really for us it's just a matter of trying to put together consistent runs going forward, and hopefully as the summer stretch continues on, we can just have that consistency that we're looking for, and it's been there recently, so just have to have that going forward.
to? What do you feel like are the strengths and weaknesses of your team at this point?
It's a good question. I think that we've done at first in the beginning of the season we had a number of issues. We had some things that were out of our control, some pit stop things that just frankly didn't go our way, and I think the pickers done a great job of continuing to improve. They continue to get better and better as the weeks go on, which is great. I think so that's an area of performance that we're continuing to improve. Our adjustments over the course of the race. I feel like the last few we've gotten better in that aspect. We struggled in that aspect earlier in the year, so I think those are the two things that I look at and say, those are areas where we got to continue to work on so that we can get better.
How has the communication changed with Chad now that you've been together for a while?
I think as we've been together for a while, the banter and talk back and forth gets more serious and more detailed, I would say. As we started out, we were kind of didn't want to step on each other's toes too much and kind of don't want to rock the boat too much. And now for us, it's really just about performance. So where do we need to improve so that we can perform better? And that's a team effort. And, I think we're getting there.
Is there a race, you've had five top tens this season, is there a race that sticks out as one that you feel like's been the best so far this season?
Um, to be honest, I think that Homestead was probably our best race. We did a good job for the most part. We kind of missed it on the adjustments at the very end of the race to get ourselves in a better spot. But for the most part, I think that was our best race. We've had other ones that didn't finish off strong, but had better speed. I think Martinsville, we went to the back twice, or maybe three times, to be honest. And so that was tough. Bristol, same thing. We went to the back there a few times, had to make our way back up towards the top 10. So those are ones that are kind of battling days, but pretty good finishes for what we went throughout the event.
What do you anticipate for the All-Star race at a short track like Bristol?
Um, I anticipate it's going to be very intense. I mean, I think that depending on how they format it and the way the track feels and the PJ1 and all of that, it's going to be very unique. So I really don't know what to expect there. I think it's going to be a challenge.
For the All-Star Open, with no points on the line and trying to make it into the All-Star race, how will your strategy change racing Bristol in that kind of environment?
Just got to be aggressive. I think when I was in the Open last year, aggression is kind of what won out. Chad made a good call to take four tires and give us that ability to knife through traffic. So just same thing this year. Just be aggressive and try to work our way through there.
Do you have a favorite All-Star race memory, even as a fan? Like, the race is such a historic race. Is there something that stands out over the years?
The one that stands out to me was when Carl Edwards won. Um, I was that was a race that I went to with my mom, and I took her. That was her first race that she ever went to, so that was pretty cool. It was a good race to go to, and it was entertaining.
Bristol's going to have a pretty good number of fans. How will it be to be able to race in front of fans again?
It's going to be really awesome. Looking forward to it. I think the fans will bring a new atmosphere to the event. And with it being an all-star race, I think fans are critical for that. That's really what it's all about, is the fans. And, there's some money on the line, which is nice. But as drivers, we really race for checkered flags and for the excitement of doing it in front of fans. So looking forward to that. I think it's going to bring a new element.
You mentioned Bristol earlier. You finished 8th there in May. How do you like your chances in the All-Star Open?
I think if we can make it into the All-Star race, our chances are good. There's a few cars there that are really good at Bristol. The 9 car's been really good there. The 22 car, the 11. Those 3 guys are going to be really tough. But I think we can have a shot at running up there, and I'm sure there'll be some different things and different strategies, approaches on the cars, because it's going to be more like a qualifying race. You're not going to have long run speed. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that plays out.
How do you approach racing at Bristol, both physically and mentally?
I think honestly, you just try to breathe every lap. It's kind of sounds silly, but if you just breathe every lap and have a rhythm to how you breathe every single lap, it makes the race go by so much easier. So this race this past year was one of the toughest I've been in at Bristol, because it was really hot during the daytime. Sun was shining super bright right on the racetrack, and there's no airflow at that racetrack with the way the cars are. So on top of that, I think we had a fan issue. We didn't have any helmet cooling going to me, so it was just a tough event. But what I found was just breathing and kind of controlling that was really critical.
What about the hectic pace that you guys have had this year, racing multiple times in the week, multiple times in the weekend? How have you handled that, and have you enjoyed that, or has it been a challenge?
I've enjoyed it. I think it's a new challenge for all of us to have that schedule, but I've enjoyed it. I think that it's been a better race in a lot of instances, because you don't get the practice to really kind of fine tune and I think you kind of see in the race itself, after the first run, everyone kind of works on their car and gets it better, and it makes it harder to pass after that. But the first run is always really exciting, because you're either going forwards or backwards at a high rate most of the time.
Last question. The All-Star race will be on a Wednesday night. There's been a couple of races on Wednesday nights this year. How do you like racing on a Wednesday night compared to weekend?
For me, it's not a whole lot different. Just the turnaround's way faster for the race, so not as much time to think, which is probably a good thing a lot of times. So yeah, it's good. I like the Wednesday night races. It makes it tough, on you for the recovery after the fact, because it's so late at night that you're kind of, the next day is kind of shot, so you're kind of in this catch-up mode, and then by Friday, hopefully you're back in rhythm, because then the weekend's coming quick for the next race. So it's definitely unique.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time. That's all the questions, and good luck this weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you here at Bristol on July 15th.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.